conversations with turned into voice of the people, the crew for you. Culture, creativity, knowledge, hope, opportunity, bring the light of minds. We shine, we break on through. Conversations with them too. Culture, creativity, knowledge, hope, opportunity. Your voice matters, you give shine through. Conversations with them too. Yeah. You are the stage. Shine. Culture, creativity, knowledge, hope.
What up, family? What they do? Listen, every time I hear that theme song, I just get so excited. Talking about bad, that producer bad. Yes, he is. Good evening, family. What's going on? It's another edition of Conversations with M2. We are the Shenanigans Crew. I'm one half of your host. I'm MJ Smith, and
I am Lady Des, and we are so excited. Just as MJ said, he was excited about the theme song, but I'm excited about the theme song and the show, and I'm so glad that you all have decided to spend your part of Monday evening with us. Tonight's conversation is one that's very close to my heart because I have the privilege of serving as the host for this year's spectacular 10th annual Black and White Gala, a night for the stars. We're talking with the visionary, the leader who has dedicated his life to helping individuals and families discover healing, purpose, and hope.
Yes, family. So we want to welcome our special guest, the founder and CEO of Generational Cure, the one and only Minister Charles Williams. What up?
Hey, God bless y'all. How y'all doing?
We good.
We're doing well. All right, so let's jump right into this. So before we talk about the organization, let's talk about who Minister Charles Williams is. Tell us about the man behind the mission.
It's funny because I'm not someone that likes to talk about himself. So I would say I'm a father, I'm a husband, recently ordained elder, CEO of Generational Cure. The organization came into establishment in 2011. We have 5 children, 1 grandchild. We've been married now 13 years, June 29th. Yeah. And with Generational Cure, we've been blessed to have the privilege of impacting as many lives as we have with the young people that have come through our organization, with mentoring, as well as with our Black and White Gala and all of the other community outreach events that we do.
All right. That's what's up. So here's a two-parter now. What shaped your heart for serving people, and who inspired you growing up?
So I have an aunt who's deceased. Her name was Gloria Ford. And my aunt lived in Bunch Park. She didn't have use of her legs. She had multiple sclerosis. So at our Black and White Gala, we have an award named after her. We call it the Glow Award. And I've literally seen as a child, I don't remember how old I was, but there was a young woman who wore a patch over her eye because she couldn't use that eye, of course. And there was one night, it was raining, not to make it dramatic, but it actually was raining one night. And it was after bedtime. And a young woman came and knocked on Glow's door. And I believe she was dealing with some sort of domestic violence or something like that. And we didn't know the young lady from anywhere. She opened her door and she let her come in and she stayed with Glow. And that was the type of person she was. she had a mechanical setup in her vehicle. She had a two-door Impala, a Chevy Impala, and she would give people rides. Um, she was the transportation that a lot of people depended on, given the fact that she couldn't, use her legs. Was just inspirational enough for me to see that as a child, to be somewhat of the backbone of our family, a pillar in our community. Um, but from a faith standpoint, she was a faithful member of a church, Greater New Bethel Baptist Church, in Miami Gardens. Um, Going through chemotherapy, even diagnosed with cancer, everything, she still was faithful. So that was, outside of, my mother, she was the woman who I looked to and was inspired greatly.
You there, Des?
I think she's muted.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back, y'all.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yes, you know what? That is very inspiring, and
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you one thing. I love about organizations; they just don't appear. They're birthed from purpose. What is your why behind generational cure?
So the why is within its name itself. It was a God-given name. This was during a time of turmoil in my own life. Um, I had been in a period where I couldn't find employment. I was going through a legal circumstance at that time. I was fasting and praying every day, and one day there was a voice that came to me. I was closing out a fast. I was praying. It was 12 noon, and I heard the name whispered in my right ear. No one was home. It was just me, and
Mm,
it was an audible voice, but it was very soft. And initially, I thought the name of the organization was intended to be a book, but at that time, I was maybe 24. So there's nothing that I could write about from my life experience at 24 that would fill a book. So I don't remember where the idea of an organization came from, but it made sense because the name made sense. Me, being able to boast about being a father. Uh, my dad can't boast about how he was hands on with me the way that I've been with my children. And that's not to tarnish his legacy. It's just to speak facts of, the upbringing that I had, as well as a lot of the young men that I grew up with living in Liberty City, the Pork and Bean Projects, Largemont, things of that nature. So we saw the direct effects of, the crack epidemic, and the mass incarceration, and um, growing up in public housing, not being able to have a father in the household, so on and so forth. So because of that, our generation saw what it's like to long for a father, but aspire to be better than them. So I would say that's the why, to give young men the guidance that they deserve, when a father figure or a role model who's tangible is missing in their lives.
wow, wow. Was there a defining moment that made you realize that this organization needed to exist? Like, I know you say you didn't have enough to fill a book, but what was that defining moment that's like, you know what, I got to get this organization started?
I would say by now we have enough to fill an encyclopedia. Um, because since 2011, it's been long enough, right?
Right.
Um, the defining moment. So I would say there were several. So
Mhm.
there is a young woman who graduated from our program whose name is Daisha Robinson. While Daisha was in our program, her father died. And Daisha was going through a very troubling time because her father wasn't there. Daisha, I believe now is 24. So she graduated the year before COVID. So she may be 24, 25 right now. To this day, even yesterday, Daisha called me and told me she got engaged. She wants me to meet her fiance. Uh, I'm a father figure in the lives of these young people. We had a young man who was an honor roll student in all honors classes. But just like many of our young men in this generation, they don't all look clean cut. They don't all present a certain type of way. They dress according to the culture that they're inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our young men, whose name is Jaheim Horn, he was an innocent bystander. He was shot in the neck, and he had to be airlifted to Jackson Memorial, or Ryder Trauma Center, I should say. And I stood at Jaheim's bedside and I cried. And Jaheim, I believe his father died when he was 2, if I'm not mistaken, and he was a high school student at that time. He has since graduated high school, becoming a licensed or certified correction officer. Jaheim's mother, as a matter of fact, is going to speak at the Black and White Gala. Just based on the experience, of what the organization has been. So I think just being as hands-on as we've been with the young people, um, that's the defining moment. Just knowing that even after these babies are adults, but they're still my babies, their parents still call and say, you know, can you speak to him or her about this? Or, they involve me in milestone moments in the lives of the young people. I'm invited to baby showers. I've been invited to family reunions. I've been invited to, you know, um, ceremonies for being licensed at jobs and things of that nature. So if you go on our Instagram, you'll see where Jaheim became a certified correction officer. I was there. Uh, I was asked by him to be the godfather of one of his children. I got 5 kids. I'm not doing. um,
Wow.
it's a privilege to be entrusted with this responsibility to be in the lives of these young people. Um, so there's so many pivotal moments, so many.
You know what? This is such an amazing organization, and I'm trying to think back. As long as I remember knowing you, you were Generational Cure,
Mhm.
and you mentioned the young lady, and I guess to my ignorance, I thought that it was only for young men. So this is good to hear that you
All right.
accept um, the young girls as well as the young men. How are these children recruited? How can parents reach out to Generational Cure?
So we typically are by word of mouth, but we are not limited to contracts and relationships and things of that nature. So we've, in multiple ways, I'll put it that way. We don't turn anyone away. We go through an intake process to determine whether or not the young person is within our scope of practice. As a matter of fact, there are several therapists who refer young people to our program because they realize that therapy is definitely beneficial, but having that extra piece in the life of the young person is beneficial. So, um, yeah, it's by word of mouth. Schools reach out to us. Detention centers reach out to us. Um, Various other organizations that provide wraparound services. They reach out to us. We have relationships throughout South Florida.
Wow, awesome. Now, this is one last question before we talk about the big night that's getting ready
Mhm,
to come up this Saturday.
mhm.
When people hear Generational Cure, what do you hope would immediately come to mind?
Impact,
Mm,
impact, real impact. Not something that you know by name alone is there's a lot of fluff out there.
right,
There's a lot
right.
of work that's being funded, but it's not being done. Um, like we had a church outing this past Sunday, and I invited the young men to come out also. So a few of them did make it out to the movies with us, and you know, my wife is involved, my children are involved, my family's engaged with generational cure. My children have been raised in being effective and being a part of the organization. So when people hear the name Generational Cure, um, I want them to hear impact. I believe someone that you're very closely associated with, Davika Williams. Her
Hmm.
nephew came through the program before his mother passed away. She asked me numerous times, "Would you please mentor my son?" And I thankfully, sometime before she passed away, we were able to fulfill an obligation to help Taj finish school, and
Awesome.
he's an adult now. So when people hear generational cure, I want them to hear impact.
Awesome. And that you're definitely doing. And it reminds me of of a scripture that my husband uses all the time when
Mhm,
he's talking to the village or the community. And
mhm,
basically is train up a child in the way that they should go. And when they're old, they will not depart. And he added this, he said, when I read that, the Bible never said who child. So we
mm,
all have that opportunity to make a special impact, whether they're not biologically ours, as a community, as an organization, as a people, we need to
mhm.
get together and train up these children, raise these children, because he said, train them up. And we don't have to be their biological parent. And you are definitely making that impact. And this is something that children will never forget. As they get older, they're going to carry you along with them. And that's the
Mhm.
beauty of it. And that's generational. They'll want their children to meet you. And we just pray that, that impact that you have made upon their lives will cause them to be a mentor to somebody else. MJ, I'm
Absolutely.
back.
I believe I am.
For some reason, I can't see you.
Uh, I I don't understand why.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna go in and talk about the 10th annual Black and White Gala. I am just so excited about it. This is my first time attending. So now let's talk about the event. Everybody is anticipating the 10th
Yes,
annual
ma'am.
Black and White Gala, a night for the stars. So tell us about it.
First, the scripture that you're referring to is Proverbs 22:6. That's actually a very impactful scripture from my childhood.
Wow.
Um, there was a minister in my church when I was growing up in Greater New Bethel. He would quote it every time that he stood before the congregation, and yeah, here I am now as an adult, understanding what it means. But yeah, that's awesome that Mr. Eddie Hall quotes that so often. Love your husband, man. He cool as ice water. He's the same every time I see him. I love him so much. Um,
Thank you. He over here smiling from ear to ear.
yeah, your son takes after him a lot too.
A lot, just like
He's
him.
very cool. Yeah, he's cool and mellow like his daddy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's so cool. So in regards to the black and white gala, another vision, the God-given vision. I'll never stray away from the fact that none of this was premeditated. None of this was something that I anticipated ever doing. Um, Man, I was just like every other young man that didn't have a plan B that wanted to become a football player.
Hmm.
But when I made it to college, I was trying to find my way. Um, just so many different things that tried to find my way through. Just help build my testimony and build the wisdom that I can impart into these young men. So with the Black and White Gala, we use this to recognize young people for things that they don't typically get recognized for. We know that academics is always going to be pointed out in school,
Right.
but what about the parents that can't make it to the assembly at school, the award assembly at school? So we have each one of these awards is considered extraordinary. So this is Black and White Gala where we honor extraordinary youth. And this year's theme is A Night for the Stars. So we have extraordinary overall improvement, which is for the young person who may have been getting C's and D's, or may have just come from a juvenile facility, or a young person who, um, you know, may have been considered a tyrant or a nuisance. They've
Hmm.
turned that around. They need to be recognized for that. The school may not recognize them for that, but the community should. So we want the community to see how this child has turned things around at the elementary, middle school, and high school level. And we do that for each one of the awards. Um, and in regards to community service, again, this is an award that things that are done in the community aren't necessarily recognized within the school. So we provide this award as well, extraordinary community service, and we also provide the extraordinary academic achievement award. I think my favorite academic achievement was in 2021. A young woman had COVID, and her father did too. And remember, this was during the time when the children were online strictly.
Hmm.
We heard stories and we saw videos on social media where children were struggling even logging in, or we saw videos where kids weren't paying attention, they weren't logging in, and so on and so forth. But this young woman managed to make the honor roll while nursing her and her father with COVID.
Wow.
So once I read that, yeah, that kid deserved to win. So we honored that child in 2021 for their extraordinary work. It's just so many stories. I mean, we've been doing this particular event for 10 years because I feel like kids deserve to see the community embrace them, not just their school, not just mommy and daddy, but the community. Their village needs to wrap their arms around these children and come out and embrace them and show them that we love you, we want to inspire you, we want to push you. And there have been a lot of superstars come through this particular event. Some will be returning just to speak and say, "Hey, I've come through here before." So that's it.
MJ.
So speaking of, 10 years strong, and I know you've seen a lot, and the kids have all grown, and you still have kids that are coming through that are in need. If someone never attended a Night of the Stars, what should they be expecting when they come to a generational cure event?
You're going to see authenticity. You're going to see authenticity. There's nothing. Um, that's so. It's ironic that the theme is a night for the stars this year. Last year we had, I believe the theme was, I think it was an African theme last year, or Black History, if I'm not mistaken. So everyone dressed up in African attire last year. Um, then at the end of the event, I gave a history lesson about Africa, um,
Mm.
and I brought it to modern day time. I asked everybody in their phone to look up the beaches of Tanzania, and some people said it's beautiful. Some people, just gave their different perspectives. And I said, that's Africa. That's not the Serengeti where they're showing you, children with bloated stomachs and flies flying around their faces and things of that nature. Like this is Africa. It looks like Hawaii there. Um, so in doing it this year, Night for the Stars, I want to make these young people feel like not just that they're extraordinary, but they're shining, that they are radiant, that they are deserving. Because I have relatives that can say their parents never told them they love them.
Mm.
I know young men that have turned into stone cold killers and murderers and things of that nature because their parents didn't wrap their arms around them. And if the community did, we could have changed the life of someone who would have been CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but he chose to sell drugs. So, and knowing that no one really knows what's interwoven into my idea of making these events happen. I've seen what it looks like when brilliant minds fall into a dark place.
Mm.
So let us shine the light on these children as much as we can.
You know, I love that because we need, like you said, as a community, we need to embrace our children and not just in school. Let them shine within the community because the confidence and the motivation, the momentum that gets started once that happens is totally amazing. Why is
Mhm.
it important to celebrate our children, like for the community itself? Like, what difference does that make?
Imagine walking through the grocery store and someone stops you and say, "Hey, I love what you're doing in the community," and you're 16. That
Yes.
inspires you to keep going. That inspires you to move forward. Someone stops you in the grocery store and you're 9 years old and says, "Hey, I love the fact that you've been bringing your grades up. Or I love the fact that you've learned to say yes, sir, and no, ma'am, and they're acknowledging them for this." Or someone sees you out and says, um, "The fact that you're doing such a great work with your grades is amazing," but they're not a faculty member at your school. They just
Right.
know it because the awareness has been brought based upon the grades or based upon your overall improvement or based upon the community service. This is why this is important because the community needs to know, not just the politicians, but your neighbors need to know. And I encourage more politicians to get involved with what we're doing here. I don't stray away from political figures. Do I agree with everyone? No. Am I friends with everyone? No. Um, and if you know me personally, yeah, that's a whole nother story. But the thing is that we're not gonna do anything fake. We're not. We're not. I'm not gonna do anything fake. These kids deserve to
Absolutely.
be loved on, and that's just it. Because we do not know what they're going through at home. So if we are going to say that the children, as cliche and corny as it may sound, if we're going to say the children are our future, then we need to invest in our children.
And
Yeah.
what makes this year, what's going to make this year, even though we're celebrating the Big Ten, different
hmm
than previous years?
I told my wife we're going to serve food, my wife and I, and we're going to serve the food. Um, we were blessed to have Chef Larry donate our food this year. Um, but we're going to get behind the table and serve the food. You're going to feel the love because, in all honesty, we haven't sold a whole lot of tickets this year. Um, it's been a struggle. It's probably been one of the biggest struggles of the past 10 years to
Wow.
serve. So What you're going to get this year is you're going to get a lot of intimacy. You're going to get a lot of handshakes, a lot of hugs, a lot of love. You're going to see that this is a labor of love. So this year, out of any other year, you're going to see that there is no quit in us.
Yeah. Listen, this is good. This is good. And this is what our community need to know that is going on right here. It's going to be in the city of Miami Gardens. You have organizations, you know, people always asking for resources. And this has been an organization that has been in existence and has been thriving for 10
Hmm.
years. That's a decade. That's a decade.
Hmm.
We have organizations that get started that don't even be around 10 months.
Hmm.
Okay. And we need our community to come out. We need you all to purchase those tickets, support these young people. You know, so often it's easy for us to talk about all the negative that is going on with our children and
Hmm.
and what they're not doing. But
Hmm.
these are kids that are making a big turnaround. This organization, Minister Charles, his entire family, staff, they're in the paint day in, day out, making an impact on our children to make sure that there's a difference, you know, that they're not a statistic. So we just need everybody to come out and support. MJ?
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of jumping in and rolling up your sleeves and getting in there, let's talk about this year's host.
Yeah. So we know her as Evangelist Desiree, and
Yeah,
when the opportunity came about, my wife was sitting next to me, and so if you know my wife, she's not a very boisterous person.
right.
Um, she's soft spoken in the public eye. You know, when you're married to somebody, you know what everybody else don't know. So she shouted in my ear, "Yes, yeah, yeah. You use her, please. Yeah, book her." And I'm like, where did this come from? Like,
Wow.
so we get that boost of energy and enthusiasm every now and then from her. And we definitely got it when your name came about, when it was brought to us by our mutual friend Dr. Shanika Brown.
Yes.
So, and as a matter of fact, just a quick story. Her son is being honored this year. Um, the very first time that he was honored, he was in elementary school, and my mentor, God bless the dead, Jason Jenkins, who was with the Miami Dolphins for 14 years. He was so enamored, so proud, so just he if he could have took Jordan home himself, he would have.
Wow.
And because immediately after that event, Jason made it his business to give Jordan the way the stadium looks now, the Dolphins Stadium, it was under renovation and people were not allowed into the stadium. He asked for Jordan to be able to come out and have a tour. And we're gonna show that at the event. Jordan got a tour of the stadium. He got a tour of the locker room. He got a tour of the field when it was being, built up and torn down. Jason was grabbing staff members as they were walking by. Hey, I want to introduce you to my friend. Um, and because of the man that Jason Jenkins was, the award that we give to the young people has been named after him. So they'll be receiving the Jason Jenkins Award for extraordinary and whatever the category is that they're receiving it in.
Awesome. That's beautiful. I'm excited. I'm honored to be a part of such a meaningful evening without giving away too many surprises. Is there any special attendees that we can look for?
The kids, the
Beautiful.
winners, the winners are the special attendees. Um, that's it. The young people who are in attendance the special guest. That's it. As I said, I may be a little too authentic, or as we used to say in the late '90s, keeping it real. I may be keeping it a little too real, but I'm impressed by these kids. I'm
Yes.
impressed by the young people. We do want to thank a man who's been supporting us for the past 4 years, Vice Mayor Robert Stevens in Miami Gardens. He's been helping support us for the past 4 years. Um, I appreciate his support. Early on, I believe the first 2 years we were supported by who's now Mayor Rodney Harris. Um, so people support the work that's being done. Katrina Baskin, she's been very helpful as well. Um, so for an organization that doesn't necessarily receive a lot of funding, we definitely receive the support that's necessary from those who are willing to pour in. Um, and those that will be receiving the Glow Award this year. There's so many people that over we've been in existence since 2011. So there's so many people over the years. As a matter of fact, our pastors couldn't make it in this year. Apostle Darcy Johnson, Prophetess Tequila Johnson, Aaron, Dontrell, they couldn't make it in this year, but they were going to be the recipients of the Glow Award this year because when we didn't have a location to hold our mentoring sessions, I could do I could utilize my church.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when people are like, oh, what's the church doing for the community? You're not tapped into any local churches.
Come
When
on.
people say, what is the church doing for the community? I can tell that you don't have a church home. I can tell that you're not tapped in because there are you don't even have to go to a mega ministry. You can go to a small storefront church, and there's work being done. And I'm a testament to that. So that's it. I'm just excited about the event. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to have a good time. You know, uh, I danced a little bit last year. I may try to get my wife out of her seat and dance this year.
Oh, I gotta pull up. I gotta pull
She
up.
she has the most stoned face right now. She's ignoring me right now.
No, we're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it. We're gonna get her out that seat and get her up and dancing. Right, MJ?
When I say
Absolutely.
introvert, man, I thought I was, but nah, this is introvert on steroids. She is the Arnold Schwarzenegger of introvert.
Wow. Wow. Listen,
Yeah,
like
but
I said, I am sincerely grateful to be a part this year. I
mhm,
can't wait to meet all of the kids. That's something that's very dear to my heart as well. And just what you're doing, the impact that you're making in the community, I'm just grateful and thankful that you all saw enough in me to invite me in and to be a part of this great event. I can't wait
mhm,
to Saturday.
right. I'm glad that we have the privilege and opportunity to have you as our host. I know
Thank
that you've done a phenomenal job at hosting. So I'm looking forward to it. I sincerely am. Um, yeah, this is just going to be a great event. So, you know, thank you in advance for your support.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for your time, for your talent. Thank you to your wonderful husband. Will he be in attendance?
Eddie? No, man. He won't be able to make it, he said. I guess my date would have to be MJ. What time is it?
Tell Brother Hall, we need him there.
Yeah, yeah. The, I don't know what he's saying something. He's saying it up. She's a community. He want me to send my daughter. She works in the community.
Tell Brother Hall we love him anyway.
All right. I sure will. I sure will.
Okay.
Well,
So, yeah,
as we begin
hmm
to, I guess, kind of wind down and wrap up, I have a couple of
yes, sir.
questions since you kicked me off earlier. So, what's next for Generational Cure, and how can the community become involved as far as volunteering or partnering with Generational Cures?
So, what's next for Generational Cure? We are we work around the clock, year round. Um, One of my young men's birthdays today, so as soon as I hang up with you all, I have to call him and wish him happy birthday. Um, we're taking them to FIU this Thursday because we cater our services to what their needs and what their wants are. So one of our young men, or two of them actually, are very intrigued with cybersecurity and tech. So we're going to take them to FIU to meet with the head of the cybersecurity program there. One of our board members set that up. The what comes after the black and white gala? Um, just more work, more mentoring. We Our curriculum is based on mental health, self awareness specifically. We also incorporate STEM, so this is why we're going out to FIU to, you know, introduce them more to the world of technology and what that can do for them as a career and the advancement of education. Uh, to get involved, you can reach us on our website. You can reach us on Generational Cure on Instagram, on Facebook. And then you can email me, my first and last name, and at generationalcure.org. Um, I see Dr. Joy Riley is chiming in. Shout out to Dr. Joy.
Yes.
Listen, when when I say Dr. Joy is a real one, I love Dr. Joy. Um, she's a very important person
Listen,
to us
she must
all.
love you. She must love you if you brought Dr. Joy out.
Yeah, Doc, I love Doc. I love Doc. Doc is gonna get one of those awards as well. I just wanted to make sure I did it as a group, as a family, when
Mhm.
we gave it to the Johnsons, because I can't have one without the other. So yeah, that's what's next for Generational Cure. And then we ramp up for the holiday season. We give to the homeless during the holiday season. Um, so if you want to donate, the information is on our website. Zelle, it's my first and last name, Charles Williams at generationalcure.org. If you want to purchase tickets for the Black and White Gala, you can contact me. You can call me. Not now. You can call me tomorrow. My number is 305-879-2369. You can call me and we can give you the information on purchasing tickets for the Black and White Gala. Eventbrite is taxing our ticket sales horribly. So you can purchase directly through us, PayPal, Cash App, or Zelle. And that's pretty much it. If you want to volunteer, we welcome volunteers. We need more mentors. Um, that's it. That's it. We can use all the help we can get. MJ, if you want to get involved, we'll take you.
Yeah, you need
Yeah,
something
for
to do.
sure. I'm definitely all about the kids. So yeah, we're gonna talk about this mentoring.
Okay, cool. Let's do
Go ahead, MJ. We could close it out. We just want to invite everybody out Saturday, Generational Cure, the Black and White Gala. This is going to be amazing.
it.
Amazing time. Come on now, y'all.
Absolutely.
Let's get those tickets.
Absolutely. Yeah, support an organization that has boots on the ground, is actually doing work. There are tons of organizations that are doing great work throughout South Florida. I can name several that are doing great work. So support your local organizations because this is a labor of love for a lot of us. We're not living off of grant money. We have jobs, so that means we're taking care of our families and doing the work at the same time. And that's just it, So help out in any way that you can.
Well, Minister Charles, we want to say thank you, man, for sharing your heart, your vision, and your commitment to transforming lives through generational cure. And big congratulations on the Big 10. 10
Yeah.
years of impact, man. We pray that this milestone is just the beginning of even greater things ahead for generational cure.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
And thank you once again. I can't wait to see everybody Saturday night. Y'all come out. We're going to celebrate with these children. We're going to big up them, like for real, because they deserve it. And just like we all like to be seen at some point when we're working and we're grinding. Just we appreciate what you're doing. You're doing a great job. That goes a long way. So let's turn out in big numbers to support our children and just love on them. And congratulations once again from Conversations with Them Two on 10 years, a whole decade, man. You did it. Y'all are doing it. And I encourage you to continue to do it. Close us out, MJ.
All right, family, we want to say thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of Conversations with Them Two, the Shenanigans Crew. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube, and get our book, You Are the Stage. It's available on Amazon, or you can DM us and we'll make sure you get your copy. You Are the Stage. It's the roadmap to being on the stage and how to handle the spotlight. So until next time, next Monday at 8:00 in the PM, Lady Des, tell us what's happening.
What?
You're supposed to keep the conversation going. Good night. God bless. You know the thing you do?
Yes, listen, I thought I said it already, but good night, everybody. God bless. Thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight to Conversations with Them Two. The Shenanigans Crew, y'all. MJ Smith, Lady Des, and tonight our special guest, Minister Charles Williams of Generational Cure. Good night, everybody. We love you.
Good night.